people feel there's something rotten in today's society. That's what's brought them together here. They're protesting the vast sums of money being pumped into the financial system at a time when austerity is being shoved down their throats. They feel politicians have lost control over the situation.
We're fed up with what's happening here, this unbelievable squabbling.
This is a system where a lot of power has been built up, but where there's no more democracy and where a few get richer at the expense of all the rest.
I was happy to follow this call because I have the feeling a wide range of people are getting involved and want to make a difference. And I definitely wanted to be a part of that.
Taking part, taking action, raising their voices. Anyone who wants to can grab the microphone. And when there are no mics available, the crowd just loudly repeats what the speaker has just said. There's a lot of pent-up resentment being voiced.
We ordinary people come together and carry out dialogues. We do that because the politicians can't seem to.
It's clear many people have lost faith in the politicians' abilities to resolve problems. The debates over rescue funds, leverage, and equity ratios seem too abstract and removed from reality. But far from feeling attacked, politicians from all parties say they share the protesters' concerns.
I'm worried too, because these things are difficult to steer. There's no blueprint for getting out of a crisis. The bottom line is that I want a social welfare state that can get things done and isn't simply there to subsidize or save the markets.
There's still no willingness to demand that those who caused the crisis should pay for it.
We desperately need to do something. We need government policies that determine the rules of the game regardless of market interests.
We have to be able to convincingly show that politicians make the rules, that we aren't simply driven by the markets, as many people think. We need to end that impression.
The banks have become the new adversary. An entire economic sector has lost the support of the German political establishment. Banks are increasingly being issued with demands, for example, to increase their equity capital or be forced to accept government funds. They're being told to spin off lucrative investment businesses. Financial transactions are going to be taxed. Measures that once seemed useless or unenforceable have suddenly become the latest doctrine.
Of course, the best thing would be to implement these measures worldwide and not make excuses and keep procrastinating. So if necessary, we'll start in Europe. And if it doesn't work for Europe as a whole, we'll try it just in the Eurozone. And if that doesn't work, we'll try it on a national basis. And I'll put it straight, this also applies to the financial transaction tax.
But classic knee-jerk reactions are coming from all political persuasions. For instance, criticism of capitalism is the left party's specialty, but their poll numbers are declining. Plagued by internal rifts, the party sees the protests as a chance to finally go on the offensive, indirectly admitting its own political irrelevance.
We are the only ones who have presented the correct analyses and demands, both inside and outside the Bundestag.
The conservative and liberal coalition partners also seem helpless, unable to come up with a convincing response to both the crisis and the protests. The Chancellor's cautious approach has been criticized for lacking vision and ideas. Merkel has tried to counter those criticisms.
There isn't one single solution. There isn't a magic bullet that will end the crisis once and for all. Anyone who has hopes for that will either lose their patience or they simply don't recognize the enormity of the challenge.
The protesters, in Germany and elsewhere, have their own imaginative answers to statements like that. But beneath the high spirits lurks the biggest immediate threat: the loss of confidence in the power of politics.